Hi there everybody and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew and as always it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. Now if you have not yet done so, please make sure you go ahead and hit the bell notification and the subscription button so that you can stay up to date with all future content. Now, this is not my usual setting. Unfortunately, the rain again has set in, so I am forced to come inside and do an indoor review. Just keep in mind though that the usual washing line is in that direction, so it's there in spirit. Now today I am going to be reviewing the Crabbie's Yardhead single malt from the Highlands. So let's pour a little bit into the glass. So just so you know, this has been bottled at 40% ABV. It's an NAS, so non-age statement, and there's nothing really listing on the bottle at all, but I'm going to assume that this has been chill filtered and had coloring added to it as well. But yeah, we won't worry too much about that. Let's just get on with the review and see how we go. So starting off, I mean, that color, not too dark, just a nice, like kind of watered down honey kind of color. But let's move on to the nose. So, cheers. Okay, so straight away, this is actually quite a very sweet nose. Lots of honey, vanilla, caramel. I'm also getting quite a bit of stone fruit. So a bit of apricot, I'm say dried apricot, peaches, crisp green apple, a little bit of citrus rind as well. There's also some soft oak coming in. Now, the one thing that's surprising me the most about this whiskey is that I only just recently found out that this has been matured exclusively in first fill bourbon casks. For me, and I'll kind of go into this a little bit after this, I always thought that this had some sherry influence. A lot of the notes that I also get in that I've had in this in the past have been very like more of a sherry dominant style. But I'm quite surprised to find that it's all first fill bourbon. But after finding that out, now I am starting to notice more of that actual bourbon cask influence. But let's go on with some of those kind of more typical sherry notes that I was getting. So things like stewed prunes. I'm also getting a bit of a cherry note, blood plum, raisin, like a very sweet raisin, clove, star anise. So for me, generally, those are kind of notes that I would typically have gotten from a sherry influenced whiskey. I don't know, maybe in like the 3 or 4 years that I've been doing this, I've just been nosing whiskeys wrong. But yeah, that one really took me for surprise finding out that this was a full bourbon cask matured whiskey. So it's nice to see that I am able to still get surprised by certain whiskies. Bits of dark chocolate and tobacco as well. All right, let's move on to the palate and see how we go. So, cheers. Very sweet. Considering that it's at 40%, it does have quite a bit of a thick mouthfeel to it. A bit of prickly spice coming through as well. So it does kind of punch above its pay grade. Quite sweet, oaky as well. I'm getting quite a lot of like black pepper spice. Again, the vanilla and caramel are quite dominant on the forefront of the palate. But again, I'm still reminded of those stewed fruits and baking spice notes that I would get from a sherried whiskey. So again, there's those stewed prunes, plums, more apricots and sultanas or raisins as well. I believe they are two separate things, but again, I'm kind of getting that similar vibe. So again, more of that chocolate characteristic. Think along the lines of like a dark rum raisin chocolate. Again, those earthy tobacco notes are still there. Maybe a touch of pineapple and lemon zest at the back end of the palate. Pretty much so far, what is coming from the nose is definitely following through onto the palate. And that also leads into the finish as well. So I wouldn't say it's exactly a one-dimensional whiskey. There is quite a lot of versatile flavor coming out of this, but you will notice that there is not really all that much difference in flavor from the nose to the palate to the finish. You're getting pretty much the same profile from beginning to end, which is not necessarily a bad thing. I would say that the overall balance of flavor in this is quite good. The only thing for me is that it's not a fantastic whiskey. It's not something that I'm going to be reaching for again and again. Having a quick look at the website here as well, they are saying that it's ideal for sipping and also for mixing like into highballs and cocktails and things like that. So I think where this particular whiskey will shine most is definitely going to be along the lines of more for cocktail mixing. Having said that, I think that if you are into your I guess more budget Japanese whiskies, I think this is something that will definitely be familiar for you. And you, if you enjoy those types of whiskies, you'll probably really enjoy this. I think turning this into a highball will be very refreshing, especially for me leading into the summertime. I think that would be a good way of finishing the rest of this. Will I buy it again? Most likely not. I think there are much better quality, cheaper whiskies that I can get. I believe in the UK, this is surprisingly cheap, but unfortunately here in Australia, it's sitting at about the price of a like a mid-range to almost high-range price for whiskies, and there are much better products that I can get that are cheaper or a little bit more in price than this. So it's not going to be something that I'm going to be throwing my money at again anytime soon. Kind of moving along to the end of this, though, I would say that it is definitely worth a shot. If it's something that you have been curious about trying, maybe just wait for it to go on sale, or maybe find a friend that may have it already and try a sample of it. But it is definitely still worth having a try. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. I'll end this video for now. My name is Andrew, and I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS. Well, since you've made it this far, why not go ahead and check out some of these reviews that I have done in the past. I'll see you all again next time. Bye bye.